Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So my name is Grace Bui, and today I'm going to take you through my journey and experience in the class of organizational behavior, the skills that I've learned, and how I've applied them in the research that I've conducted. So we'll be covering different areas, variation in personalities, culture, diversity, leadership styles, communication style, politics and power, and others. So as I mentioned, I conducted research in an organization called Women for Women Foundation. It's an organization that operates here in Kigali. It helps marginalized women or women who are poor economically or who have other problems, especially in rural areas, and they help them to have access to vocational centers and also access to education and also different kinds of services. So while making research in this organization, I got to observe different problems that are in relation with organizational behavior, and I got to analyze them and come up with different ideas how they should be evaluated. So the first is about variation in personalities. Women for Women Foundation is an organization with people from different cultural backgrounds. There are Ugandans, there are Burundians, there are Kenyans, there are Rwandans, and they have different personalities due to their cultures. So as a way to analyze those personalities more closely, I analyze them in terms of cultural factors, family factors, social factors, situational factors. So you find that different people behave in a given way because they come from a particular culture. For example, people have certain customs and procedures and norms and rules that they abide by to make different decisions. Others depend on their family background to act in a certain way, and others depend on the situation to act in a certain way. So after the research I've conducted, I've seen that most of the people at Women for Women Foundation have personalities depending on their cultural background. Some people are they take initiatives easily, others open up easily compared to others. All those factors show where they come from. Another point to talk about is about the cultural diversity, as I mentioned before. So it's about managing their cultural differences. So that organization is like a diversity of cultures and people from different settings in the world. So they face communication barriers because they come from different settings, as I said, and they also face a barrier in collaboration. So in order to manage these cultural differences, as a new human resource manager who's being hired in that organization, I will make sure to communicate effectively, make sure that I provide or give clear messages about different tasks that should be done, about different work that the employees should be doing. I should also take into consideration the team building. I should, as a human resource manager who will be hired in that company, I will be able to create different teams so that the workers or employees get to work with each other more and understand each other more, regardless of their background. They'll be able to learn how the way of doing things in a particular culture and another, so as to join together their forces and come up with something positive for the whole organization. And another thing that I will be considering is schedules. People from different cultures and countries have different schedules or holidays. For example, Muslims pray every Friday. So as a human resource manager, I need to take this into consideration and create schedules and other work activities accordingly, so as to allow all the employees to give their best and also perform on their activities effectively. Another point that we'll tackle is the leadership styles. So in this Women for Women organization, there are different leadership styles that people use. These include transformational leadership, which is centered around inspiring the workers to do a certain thing. There is transactional leadership, which involves rewarding and also giving punishments when the work is not done. There is autocratic leadership, which is most of the time harsh or involves dictatorship, where a leader kinds of set rules or uses much, if I can say, is kind of harsh in order to make his employees understand. There is also the laissez-faire, where there are some head of departments which allow the employees to believe in themselves and work on a particular task and then evaluate it later. There is also the servant leadership, where a leader tries to act in a way that would give an example to the rest of the team. So as a new human resource manager who's being hired in this company, I've chosen to work with transformational leadership, as I will act by example and inspire the workers to work or to do a certain thing that I want them to do, but by referring to me. Another leadership style that I use is the servant leadership, is being able to collaborate with the employees by giving them insights how things should be done and how I should first go and approach them, listen to their problems and needs, and then be able to help them effectively. Another field we'll talk about is the communication styles used in the organization. There are mainly formal, which is between the subordinates and their superiors. There is informal, which involves casual discussions of personal interest between either employees themselves or with their superiors. Internal communication, which take place between the staff of the organization, and external, between the staff of the organization and the outside world. So these communication styles are also vital in organizational behavior, because it helps an organization know how to relate to the staff, and also how to relate to the people outside of the organization. So as a new human resource manager, I'll be able to know how to work with all these communication styles, and also be able to engage effectively with the people that I'm working with, either formally, informally, internally or externally, for the overall growth of the organization. The last point we'll talk about is the politics and power that we see in any organization. So there are different kinds of power. There is legitimate power, which where one has power depending on his position in an organization. There is expert power, which is about having expertise or skills in a particular domain. There is referent power, which comes from interpersonal relationships with others. There is coercive, which comes with threats and punishments in order to make something done. There's also reward power that deals with allocation of incentives. So according to the research that I've conducted in Women for Women Foundation, all these power and politics are available, but they're not used accordingly the way they should. So as a human resource manager, I will make sure that I teach or I train the employees on how to lead effectively by not getting outside of their domain, but also learn how to use their power in a way that impacts the others. For example, for legitimate power, people should be able to use their position well. If it's the head of the department, he shouldn't impose his ideas or thoughts onto others. Instead, he should give ground to others to explain what they feel about a given situation. And also another power that I will focus on is the coercive power. It's necessary, but sometimes we need to set boundaries about the rewards we give and the punishments we give to certain people. So that was all about the journey I had in the organization and behavior course and the research that I've made in Women for Women Foundation. As a new human resource manager, I will work at my best to improve in all these domains and for the overall growth of the organization. Thank you very much.